But Ethan, why don't you share a little bit about like exactly what you do for these doctors? Because I really know that there are so many physicians that could use your services, especially the ones coming out of medical schools, right?
It helped to illustrate by a story, if that's okay. Last summer, I was approached by an attorney who reached out and said, hey, I have 6 OBGYN physicians who are currently employed by a large national health system, just like many doctors, and they want to move to private practice. And I said, well, that's a big change. So tell me more about the rationale. And really what it turned out is that they were really frustrated with their employer and didn't know what options they had. And so I ended up working with the group, worked closely with the attorney. I worked with a number of attorneys. And what we ended up finding is that really the issue was these 6 women OBGYNs were individually contracted as employees with that health system. And to the earlier point of our conversation, they said collectively, Ethan, we recognize that there's power in numbers. So we'd like for you to advocate for us individually, but as a collective. So which means that you have 6 individual priorities, preferences, insecurities, and interests, but you also have 6 people who are aligned towards the same goal of we're committed to getting the value that we deserve. So what we did is the first thing I did is I went around town and I said, I have this amazing group of dynamic women physicians who are exploring their options. Who's interested? Everybody in town was interested, spoiler alert. And so my job then was to bring them offers. So those doctors spent the summer getting wined and dined while they're caring for patients. I get to do all of the wheeling and dealing in the background, the contract reviews, negotiations, that type of stuff. So doctors don't have to worry about taking time away from caring for patients to do this work. I do it all for them. 3 days before the final extension expired, the CEO of the doctors called me, of their hospital called me and said, Ethan, what number do we have to hit? And I just said the biggest number that I could say without getting laughed off the phone.
Right.
And that's what we got.
Yes.
And so collectively, it ended up being about $1 million a year.
Wow.
Guaranteed base salary. So for each doctor, that's about $180,000 a year. But, you know, that really, I think, helps illustrate the point that doctors are really good at what they do. I do one thing, and that is create opportunities so that you can make more money, period.
Right. I love it. I love it. What a great skill, number one. And what a great service. Really, what a great service.